Garrett Crochet has announced his arrival for the Boston Red Sox. Yes, welcome on into First Pitch, your daily source of news, notes, and updates for Major League Baseball. I am Troy Brock, your host. You can follow me on X at Troy B Baseball. He is Lindsay Crosby. You can follow him on the X machine at Crosby Baseball. And Lindsay, we need to talk about a lot of stuff happening in opening day. Yesterday was opening day. It was fun. A lot of stuff happened, and might have been delayed a few minutes with some issues from MLB.TV, but we got there.
If only they knew people would want to watch baseball on opening day and were ready for that. Had servers ready to go with that.
Right, exactly. But yeah, opening day was yesterday. We're going to talk about some performances from that stood out for us. We're going to talk about what we have to look forward to tonight. And like yesterday, we have another announcement for y'all at the end of the show. So stick around for that. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification icon. We are trying to reach 500 subscriptions by some point, and hopefully we can get there pretty soon. So help us get there. We're getting closer and closer every day. If you're listening on audio, leave a like, leave us 5-star rating, and leave us some words of affirmation. We always like those. But we're going to start off with talking about Garrett Crochet, because he made his debut for the Boston Red Sox yesterday. It was his he got the opening day nod for the team, and he did pretty good against a team that we have talked about over the past few weeks of having a solid lineup. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs, and 4 strikeouts against the Texas Rangers. And out of all of the pitchers that started yesterday on opening day, very few of them did pretty well, and Garrett Crochet was one of those guys. So what do you think about Garrett Crochet's Red Sox debut?
It was pure power, right? Like when you went back and you kind of watch, and I had this on corner of my eye while I was watching the Braves game. He threw 88 pitches. 80 of them were some sort of fastball. He threw 43 cutters, he threw 34 seamers and 7 sinkers. Then he had 7 sweepers and 1 changeup. So 80 of his 88 pitches were some sort of just heat, some fire, right? The velocity wasn't there. Nobody's velocity was really there to regular season form yet, right? Like neither him nor Aroldis Chapman in that game broke 100 miles an hour, which is just kind of surprising. I think it was something Crochet did it over 200 times last year. Chapman did it like probably every single pitch, just about, it feels like. But no, it felt like he was able to just kind of make things happen however he wanted. He had 14 whiffs. So like 29% of all his pitches were whiffs. Finished with a 28% CSW, like the debut, did everything you need him to do. And I don't even really think he got hit that hard. I think there was a couple hard hit balls, but obviously no home runs, maybe only 1 extra base hit. So I don't feel bad about that call that I initially made of, hey, Garrett Crochet could win the Cy Young this year. Like, I don't feel bad about that. I think he showed everything you need to see to think, yeah, he probably could, as provided that the velo continues to improve as they get farther into the season.
Yeah, it was a fantastic debut, and there was only 1 extra base hit. It came off the bat of Kyle Higashioka, of all batters.
Exactly who we thought it would be. Yeah,
exactly.
I think the first home run the Braves gave up in the postseason last year when they faced the Padres was Kyle Higashioka. It's like, yeah, that's who we thought in this lineup would take you deep first. Yeah.
Right, exactly. You know, not Simeon, not Seager, not Adolis Garcia, not Jake Berger, Kyle Higashioka.
White Langford, no, Higashioka.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good debut for the Red Sox for Garrett Crochet, and that's really what they've needed. They've needed a frontline starter. They've had guys that they've been looking to take that step forward and take another step in their development in Brian Bello and Cutter Crawford to be that frontline starter. They just haven't gotten to that point yet, and so they went out and they got Garrett Crochet this offseason. You know, they brought in Walker Buehler to also shore up the rotation, and it's finally starting to look like a more of a complete team for the Boston Red Sox. And Garrett Crochet kind of showed in his outing, like you said, that he may be competing for the American League Cy Young as early as this year. And, there's another guy in baseball who we did not expect to be competing for the Cy Young. And that guy resides in the National League East. And
Before we move on real quick, sorry, 2 quick thoughts on this game. I know we have a lot of games to cover. Garrett Whitlock coming back from injury, 2 scoreless innings of relief. That could be really useful for them, either at the start, like a swingman kind of role. And then old man Kevin Pillar started in center field for the Rangers and went like 2 for 3. Just nuts. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah, there's a lot to get to, and so I'm probably going to miss some stuff. But a guy that we did not expect to compete for the Cy Young in any way, shape, or form is MacKenzie Gore of the Washington Nationals.
Bro,
what a whooping he put on the Philadelphia Phillies yesterday. He joins Bob Gibson as only the second pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball to have a start on opening day where he struck out 13 batters while walking none and allowing no runs. Now, the Nationals did lose, but regardless of the
outcome, because of MacKenzie Gore.
It was not because of MacKenzie Gore. He had a fantastic outing. He was making Phillies batters look just absolutely silly through his 6 innings. Only allowed 1 hit. And what a start to the season for MacKenzie Gore, huh? And against Zach Wheeler, no less, on the other side.
Yeah, he outpitched Zach Wheeler, and that's nothing against Zach Wheeler. I mean, he's one of those dudes. He throws multiple breaking balls: fastball, slider, curveball, cutter, changeup, like a whole 5-pitch arsenal, and they were all working. Yeah. Now, some of it, from what I understand, was the shadows and the way the lights were angled and everything. When the mound got out of shadow and they could see the ball in the sunlight the entire time is when the Phillies started hitting. I don't know if that's legit, if it's just when Gore left the game, whatever it was, but either way, if MacKenzie Gore can be that MacKenzie Gore all season, you like Washington's chances a lot more of maybe sneaking, at least competing for a wild card and being closer to that top 3 than being in the bottom 2 that we thought they were. Like, we thought they'd be closer to the Marlins than the Mets, who we have in 3rd place. But like, MacKenzie Gore can pitch like that. They could be in just about any game they play in.
Yeah. They we talked about it when we previewed this team, and we called the rotation the weakness of this team. And if MacKenzie Gore is pitching like that all season, then it might not be the weakness of this team. Which I do think they're going to be very pesky this year. I think they're going to make a lot more noise than most people expect with their young core, and MacKenzie Gore is a part of that young core, even though he's been in the majors a little bit longer than some of these other guys. But it was a fantastic outing from him, even though his team lost, but it was definitely not on him. It did go to extra innings. And another game that went to extra innings that was super exciting was the Cleveland Guardians and the Kansas City Royals in the Central. We've got to talk about this because that race is going to be fantastic if the season opener between these two was any indication. The Royals opened the scoring in the 3rd inning by scoring 3 runs. In the top of the 4th, the Guardians scored 1. In the top of the 5th, the Guardians scored 1. In the top of the 6th, the Guardians scored 2 to take the lead. In the bottom of the 9th, the Royals tied it at 4. And it went to extras, went to 10 innings, and the Guardians scored 3 in the top of the 10th to take home the victory on opening day in Kansas City. How crazy of a game was this, man?
You always love kind of these, like, this game had weird stuff. Kyle Manzardo, who may be one of the slowest first basemen in baseball, hit a triple off of Cole Reagans. He went 3 for 4 with 2 runs and 4 RBI. He had a homer. In the 6th inning, he had a triple off of Cole Reagans. And it's like, just when things like that happen, I actually think he came in a single short of the cycle.
Wow.
Like, he had everything but the single, which is the most frustrating way to not get a cycle, right?
Exactly.
But something that I noticed that I kind of wanted to bring up is both of these games went to extras, and both of these games, the road team won. And I saw a thing just the other day talking about this. Ever since you put in the Manfred man, the ghost runner, in extra innings, road teams win extra innings games more than 50% of the time. It's a large enough sample to be statistically significant. And I guess it's because of the information advantage. If you think about it, if you're the home team, going into the 10th inning, you either tied it up in the 9th or you blew a lead, right? But if you tied it up in the 9th, you probably have your closer available. And you may throw your closer in the 10th, the top half of the 10th, hoping to keep them off the board. But you don't know if you're going to score in the bottom half of the 10th or not to take a lead. So you might throw your closer and then both of you go scoreless. And now you're in the 11th and don't have your closer. But the road team, if you score, then you can put your closer in knowing for a fact it's a safe situation and you can win the game. And because of that, I feel like there needs to be some sort of tweak to the ghost runner rule. Maybe you don't start it until the 11th or the 12th or something. I think that's the way to do it. If the stated goal is to shorten extra innings games, then don't let them drag on forever, right? Let them play like one normal inning or something, or two normal innings or whatever, and then start it. But the fact that the home team who gets to bat second doesn't have the advantage from a winning percentage, and I don't just mean in these two games. I mean, since it's been instituted, road teams have a higher winning percentage than away team or than home teams, means you got to change something, because the home teams win more often in almost every situation except for this.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think that they should wait another inning or two before they put the ghost runner on, if they just have to put the ghost runner on, because yeah, it's crazy how, like you said, the home teams win more in every other situation except for extra innings, and it's just you're supposed to have home field advantage in every situation, and so in this one you don't.
Can I chuckle about something really funny in this game too?
Yeah.
Is the whole idea of getting Jonathan India for the Royals was to get a guy that can get on base in front of Bobby Witt Jr., because Bobby Witt Jr. led baseball last year in at-bats from the 2-hole with nobody on base. India went over 5 yesterday. It's a small sample, I know, but it's like, wait, we got him so that we would have somebody on, and he started at third base, not second. And Michael Garcia, who was the leadoff hitter for a good part of the year and the third baseman, was on the bench to start the game. Jonathan India goes 0 for 5. Michael Garcia pinch hits for MJ Melendez and goes 1 for 2. I'm like, wait a second. The whole reason we benched Garcia for India was to get somebody on base in front of Bobby Witt Jr., and he didn't do that. But the guy you benched, when he came in, he got on. Just funny to me. That's all it was.
Yeah, whenever I pulled that up, I noticed that too. I thought that was funny, especially with how much we've been talking about it all season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be remiss if we didn't mention, after we recorded yesterday, Tanner Bybee was supposed to start that game for the Guardians. He was scratched with an illness, so Ben Lively did wind up.
Yeah.
Yes, it was food poisoning.
Yeah, from what I saw, it was food poisoning, which is funny because he's talked about he always has Chipotle before a start. And I think it's like the night before a start he has Chipotle, and I guess he carb loads or whatever, and so we can kind of blame Chipotle for them not having their starting pitcher on opening day. It's funny.
Yeah, that might be the last time he has Chipotle before a start. But yeah, Ben Lively.
Bro, they have chefs, man. Just ask the chef to make you the same thing.
Right.
I guarantee you the dude can do it.
I'm sure he could make a burrito, but
the guy or girl can do it. I'm sorry.
Yes. Ben Lively made the start in Bobby's place, and he did okay. He went 5 innings on short notice, 4 hits, no walks. Did give up 3 runs and 3 strikeouts, but a solid outing for somebody not expecting to pitch on opening day and having to do it last second. A guy that did expect to pitch on opening day and has for a few days now and still did not do well is Clay Holmes of the New York Mets. He did not have it. I watched this game as I mentioned I would for work. It took me until the 3rd inning to get to watch it because of the issues with MLB.TV. To watch
Shout out MLB for not knowing you were going to have people wanting to watch baseball on opening day.
Right. Who wants to watch baseball on opening day? But yeah, Clay Holmes he did not have it. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 walks, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and only 4 strikeouts. I will say he did have Altuve looking pretty silly. Altuve struck out twice against Clay Holmes. Both times were pitches well out of the zone. But at the same time, most of Clay Holmes' pitches yesterday were well out of the zone, and he did not have the control. He didn't throw that changeup that you've talked about that he added. He threw it 4 times yesterday of his career high 89 pitches. It was mostly sinker and sweeper, and it was not there.
What was I think more disappointing here? Was it Clay Holmes having a rough debut when they really need him to be good this year? Or is it Juan Soto representing the tying run and striking out in the 9th inning?
Yeah, it's I think both were.
Can you imagine how that place would have erupted had Juan Soto hit a home run to walk it off or to tie it up or whatever it would have been in the 9th?
Yeah, that would not have been a happy crowd in Houston. It would
hated that.
Yeah, but Soto, in his defense, outside of that one strikeout at the end of the game, he did go 1 for 3 with 2 walks in his debut. So he did walk more than he struck out yesterday. It was not a close game. It never felt in check. Framber Valdez just had a fantastic showing in that game. He went 7 strong innings, allowing no runs, only 4 hits and 2 walks. And the ground ball stuff was working for Framber Valdez, and he got help from everybody on the infield defense. Even Isaac Paredes made a diving stab on a sharp ground ball to the left side at one point. And, they talked about it on the Astros broadcast that 3 of their infielders now are former Gold Glovers in Brendan Rodgers, Christian Walker, and Jeremy Pena. And then you got Isaac Paredes stepping his defensive game up. Is their infield defense actually going to be one of the best in the league this year?
You take out Tuve out of the infield, and there you go. All of a sudden, you give them a first baseman that's actually decent for the first time in a couple seasons. I mean, there you go. Now, I will say the flip side of this: Brendan Rodgers went 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Paredes went 0 for 3. He did draw a walk and scored a run. He came around to score, and one of them was like a line out that he crushed. Pena went 1 for 3. Christian Walker, though, 1 for 4, 3 hard hit balls. He just crushed the ball yesterday. Didn't always get the results out of it. But I mean, given the way their staff works, right? They've got Framber Valdez, who likes to do that. Ronel Blanco, Hunter Brown. I think Hunter Brown's sinker is the thing that he uses a lot now. Having this good defense is really going to help them. It's kind of like the anti-Boston infield.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna play in their favor for sure. Then of course we're gonna move over to the West now, where your Atlanta Braves just didn't have it that well over there in San Diego with a 7-4 final. Chris Sale started the day, had a rough inning in the first inning, 29 pitch first inning.
Yeah,
kind of weighed on him down the stretch of that game there. But the offense showed up early, but kind of sputtered near the end. So I know you dove deep into that game on Braves Today on your newsletter as well as the Braves Today podcast. But what are your quick thoughts here? And if anybody wants a more deeper dive, you can go check it out on Braves Today.
Yeah. Sale only made 5 innings because he used 29 pitches in the first, right? Like Snit said after the game, had he been able to get out of that first inning sooner with a lower pitch count, he could have come back for the 6th. And you saw the result that had later, right? You threw Dylan Lee in the 6th, score was 6th inning. And then facing 8, 9, and 1, the Braves went to Hector Neris, who former Astro, former Cub, struggled last year. They signed to a minor league deal. He got in 3 games in spring. He promptly gave up a leadoff home run to pinch hitter Gavin Sheets, and then singles to Elias Diaz and Fernando Tatis, and was lifted without recording an out. And that was the big inning. That was all 3 of the Tatis and the pinch runner for Diaz came around to score as part of a 4-run inning. And it's not just that, though. After the 4th inning, Atlanta didn't register a hit. And so it's some of the familiar issues we saw, from last year with the offense underperforming at times. But you combine that with a bullpen blowout, and that's an area where a lot of Braves fans were already concerned, and the atmosphere in Braves country is not great today. But again, if you want more details on that, bravestoday.com for the newsletter and on the podcast.
Yep. I will say one plus for the Atlanta Braves is they did hold Luis Arias to 0 for 2. So suck on that, Luis Arias stands.
Couple more games. Over 2 we haven't talked about yet. Triceps O'Neal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually about the game I was about to go to.
Sorry to
Yeah.
mess up your segues. Yeah, I just
No,
thought
you're
about it real
good.
quick.
That was a better segue than what I had.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Tyler O'Neill extended his opening day home run record yesterday. He has now hit a home run in 6 consecutive opening days, and it came in his debut for the Baltimore Orioles. He did go 3 for 3 in that game, 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and he was one of 4 Orioles did a home run in that game yesterday, along with Jordan Westberg, and then Adley Rutschman and Cedric Mullins both hit 2 home runs each, and just an offensive outpouring from the Orioles against Jose Barrios and the Toronto Blue Jays. A 12-2 victory for the Orioles. It's a great showing, great debut for Tyler O'Neill, and good outing from Zach Eflin. What are your thoughts on this game?
O'Neill had to enjoy it. He's from Canada, so
Yeah.
to do that against the Blue Jays in Toronto has to be cool. I don't know for a fact. I'm guessing he probably had 20 something members of family at the game, so that's pretty cool. It's like I think the 10th time in history the two teammates had 2 multi-homer games. But this is like the 3rd straight year that the Orioles have been a juggernaut on opening day. Corbin Burns had that awesome start last year, and they scored like 11 against the Angels. I remember they took down Boston in 23. Like, this is the 3rd straight year they've scored a bunch of runs. I thought Eflin was fine. I don't think Toronto's that good. I still don't know if they have the front end pitching performances to hang, but if the offense can do things like this, and Cedric Mullins was barely over double-digit home runs last year, if they can keep doing things like this, Rutschman fell off hard in the second half. Like, they're going to be dangerous in the East, and it's going to be it's going to be Orioles versus Red Sox for the division. I had the Red Sox and not even that close, but this could legitimately be both of these teams getting after it in the season if they can keep doing what they did.
Yeah, it was a fantastic showing from the offense, and you're spot on. They definitely need to keep it up if they want to make up for the lack of pitching there in the rotation. 2 more quick games here before we move on to today's action. The Pirates and the Marlins. Not sure we'll talk about either of these teams too often this season, but they did have a good game yesterday and a good pitching matchup in Paul Skeens and Sandy Alcantara, and it didn't really go as planned. Both guys. Neither guy went 6 innings. Skeens went 5 1/3. Alcantara went 4 2/3, and I'll probably find another way to pronounce his name here shortly. Skeens gave up 3 hits and 2 walks and struck out 7, and then Sandy gave up 2 hits and 4 walks and struck out 7 of his own, and it was a 5-4 victory by the Miami Marlins. They have a record above 500.
They not only have a record above 500, they're tied for the division lead right now.
Yeah.
They're tied for the lead in the division with the Phillies, and the Nationals, the Braves, and the Mets are all tied for last place. It's Xavier Edwards, the top of the lineup. He hit over 300 last year for the Marlins in like 80 games or something, and everybody's convinced that like it was real, and I wasn't quite sure. He goes over 3 yesterday. He draws 2 walks. He does score. He gets an RBI on like, I think, a sac fly or something. But like, I mean, they did enough to win. Kyle Stowers goes 1 for 3. What was it? It was something like I had it here a second ago. 7 members of the lineup pick up a hit. Like, and it's just again, and granted, some of those came off a Skeen, some of those came off the pin, but like, holy cow. I just, for not knowing who half these Marlins dudes were, it's pretty surprising. I do want to say, though, the Pirates stole 6 bags yesterday. Wow. And I think that's the thing they're going to have to do if they want to win this year, simply because I don't trust them to mash enough runs. But if you can get dudes on, they had 7 walks in the game. What was it? It was 4 off a skate. It was 4 off a Sandy. They had 7 walks in the game, and they stole a bunch of bags. Like, that's a recipe to potentially win more games than probably you should. So interesting little matchup there. Probably last time we'll talk about these 2 teams, especially if they play each other without these 2 starters. But there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're definitely going to have to keep doing that to manufacture some runs, because their offense is also not that great. But a team with an offense that is great, the Los Angeles Dodgers, are now
the Oscar tax.
Yeah, they won over the Tigers. It was a higher scoring affair than probably most people expected, especially with Tariq Skubal and Blake Snell on the mound. And
Yep.
most of the Dodgers offense came against Tariq Skubal. The reigning American League Cy Young winner, went 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 walk, 4 runs, and gave up 2 home runs in the loss to the Dodgers. And Blake Snell gets the win, and Blake Trinan gets the save for the Dodgers, his first of the year.
Everybody's going to collect saves for them. But like Ohtani homered in the 7th, but like what they did off of Skubal was impressive. Tommy Edman, again, Tommy freaking Edman keeps doing this stuff. And then Teoscar Hernandez. Dave Roberts moved Teoscar to the 3-hole with Freddie Freeman behind him. Facing a lefty kind of makes sense. You've got Ohtani, Betts, now Teoscar, and then Freddie. And what was it that Roberts said? There's a Teoscar tax to get through Freddie the 3rd time. And the 3rd time Teoscar was up, he hits the home run off of Skubal. So 3-run shot to dead center. So this offense is more than just the 3 MVPs. The bullpen's obviously fantastic. They got enough out of Snell and everybody. I mean, it's still kind of, they're still the team to beat, whether or not you want to admit it. They're still the team to beat, and they're technically still on pace for 162-0.
Yeah, their magic number is quickly shrinking. Yeah, that's really all the matchups yesterday that we missed. If you want any more insights into yesterday, check out the First Pitch newsletter. We'll put the link in the description, but it is firstpitchnewsletter.substack.com. And then today we have a much shorter schedule and no games before noon still, and 2 teams making their season debut in the Colorado Rockies and Tampa Bay Rays, the only 2 teams that have yet to play a game. And there's really not many good pitching matchups to watch tonight. Is there any of these games that you're particularly looking forward to outside of the Braves and Padres?
I do think Braves Padres has the best pitching matchup. Renato Lopez versus Dylan Cease. Like I do think that. Tigers Dodgers is intriguing to me. It's the late game at 10 p.m. It's also a free game of the day on MLB.tv. We keep talking about the Dodgers, but it's Yamamoto versus Flaherty. And I think one of the big storylines here is the Dodgers trading for Jack Flaherty, using him to win a World Series, and then him re-signing back with the Tigers. Yeah. So, interesting timeline. He gets to obviously they're going to be in LA for that. So, seeing how he does and how they do, knowing Jack Flaherty because they had him on their team for a couple months and won a World Series with them. I believe they did the World Series introductions last night, I think. I don't know if the ring ceremony is tonight, but I'm pretty sure they're going to at least acknowledge Flaherty's contributions to the World Series. So that'll be fun kind of there. And then potential young breakout starter alert, Jack Leiter pitching against the Red Sox for the Rangers. I think that's going to be a fun one. Tanner Houck gets the start for the Red Sox. Not terribly excited about watching him, but I'm excited to watch what Leiter can do. And then I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Like other than that, it's an old man battle. Orioles versus Blue Jays, Charlie Morton versus Kevin Gausman. Yeah, I mean, okay, sure. Ryan Pepio is exciting for the Rays just because I'm excited to see him, but it's facing the Rockies. So it's Kyle Freeland. I'm like, okay, cool, Kyle Freeland, whatever. But I'm excited to watch Pepio and see what it looks like in a minor league ballpark this year.
Yep, that is going to be our first experience of watching a major league ball game in a minor league ballpark this year. As the Tampa Bay Rays are the home team, but yeah, you actually talked about mine. Jack Leiter is the one I'm excited to watch tonight.
Oh, sorry, I forgot I was doing both.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm big on Jack Leiter. I think that out of him and Kumar Rocker, I've always been higher on Jack Leiter than Kumar Rocker just because of Kumar Rocker's control issues. And so I'm excited to watch Jack Leiter again tonight. And then, of course, I'll be watching Tylor Megill and Hunter Brown in the 8-10 on the Apple TV game tonight. So we'll get to watch.
The cool thing about the Apple TV games doesn't necessarily matter here, but the cool thing about the Apple TV games is you can listen to the home team or the away team's radio and it's synced up to the broadcast. I love that feature. I wish everybody did that. Whenever the Braves are on there, I don't care about the Apple TV announcers. I want to listen to the Braves Radio Network announcers, and you can get that, and it's already synced. So I love that.
Yeah, I do like that feature as well. I like the Apple TV broadcast or TV package. I know a lot of people don't. I like it because I'm a stat guy, and they always have in the bottom corner. They always have the analytics for each at bat, and I love that. But yeah, that is going to do it for our show today, except for one more thing. Lindsay, you want to break the news to the audience, sir?
Yes. I talked about this on Twitter the other day, but I was hired by the Locked On Podcast Network to do some of the post game shows for the Braves, or I said do all the post game shows for the Braves. But they also are having me do a new show that they're creating. It's going to launch soon called MLB Game Night, which is a daily MLB recap show. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do both this and that. And so I am leaving First Pitch. Troy is continuing. He has the newsletter. He will. We are working on a new co-host to go with Troy. I may still be able to make appearance here and there, and chat ball every now and again. But I won't be part of First Pitch on a daily basis anymore, simply because Locked On is. I'm going to be contractually obligated to Locked On to provide that service for them instead. It's been a wonderful time. I'm still obviously around. You're still probably going to hear from me a little bit here and there. And no matter what, I do have a pretty strong legacy of throwing in some fantastic little drops.
I'm a hater, man. I don't think you want to ask me that. I am a hater, so I'm going to just leave it at that.
That stuff's not going away, but I'm going to miss everybody who's in the comments every day and who's in the live chat and subscribes to the channel. But it's a good move. And ultimately I'm excited about what Troy's going to do with the show when it's his baby and he gets full creative control over it.
Yeah, we do have a lot of plans going forward for more content, but we are gonna miss Lindsay. He's been a big part of the show since it started, and the biggest part of the show since it started, really, and definitely the oldest part of the show since it started. But we are proud of Lindsay, and we're happy for him, and I'm glad. Congratulations on the move to Locked On, back to Locked On, and
back to Locked On, yeah,
and wish you well in your future endeavors, sir. But that is going to do it. That was our announcement for the end of the show. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We are trying to reach 500 subscribers. The quicker we do it, the more content we can bring you. So do that, please. And if you're listening on audio, hit that follow button. Leave us some words of affirmation. Send your friends to firstpitchpodcast.com. I remembered that website. And also, I will leave the link for the newsletter in the description. And until next time, this has been First Pitch.